Welcome everyone, this is Red from 4 Guys in a Comic, and today we're going to be continuing on with our Secret Empire event. Alright, for those of you just tuned into us, this here is basically the cliffhanger notes covering everything for Secret Empire. Check out all the videos that we've already done, and check out the videos we have coming out. Everything is going to be talked about. Every issue, every little spoiler, everything that you need to know, so you too are informed of what's going on with Secret Empire. Alright, so we're going to start off today with Secret Empire issue number 4 by Nick Spencer. Alright, we're going to get started right into this and dive straight in and see what's going on. And as we see here, basically, Steve Rogers, that we know of, is in this area that we don't know of, being fought by creatures that we don't know of. And he's fighting them, and all of a sudden 2 guys that we don't know of show up to help him out. They do so, they start talking to him about, hey, you know what, we're in this area too, we don't know what's going on, but we're going in that direction, and we're going to set up camp. Want to come with us? And Steve does. And that's all we know about it. So we move on to Baltimore, where, of course, the Punisher is in his little hideout lair, whatever, and Kraken shows up and has been, hey, we've been looking for you. You know, I have a message here from, you know, Captain America, your Supreme Leader. So hologram pops up, and our Supreme Leader starts talking to the Punisher and says, you know, hello, Frank, you know, you've been doing a great job, but I know you've got the hardest and toughest mission of all. I really need you to track down the Black Widow. And, you know, you're the only person that can do it. And she could be anywhere. She could be a million miles away. She can be in your back door. Who knows? And from there, it goes straight into the Black Widow, basically torturing a Hydra agent. He's in a chair, tied up, bound, and she's getting ready to cut off his head to see if another one will grow back. Shame on you. And the kids show up, and it's like, hey, you're torturing this guy. You can't do this. You know, you gotta be nice. Oh, these kids today, my goodness, don't they know how to torture? What, you want to sit down with a cup of tea and talk things over? No, it's not how things are done. Kids today, what can I say? So Black Widow, of course, she's upset about all this. It's like, you know, let me do things my way. I get results. And she does. She knows she does. Everybody knows she does, except for these kids. What's their problem? Kind of gentler kids today. Jeez. Well, don't get me on that subject. But anyways, one of the guys is like, oh, well, I have an app that will brainwash him and basically make him forget his memories for X amount of time, and we'll set him free. So he goes to untie him, and of course the Hydra agent takes a knife out of his boot and goes to stab the kid, and all of a sudden, you know, he's yelling, Hell Hydra, as he got the knife out there, and he gets shot in the back by Black Widow. And she's, of course, now it's time, we have to leave this hotel and find a new place. And it turns out she is in Baltimore, right in the Punisher's backyard after all. Well, we move on there to Alaska. And as we know from previous issues and videos that I've done, that, you know, our group of heroes are on their way to Ultron to get a piece of the fragment. And it kind of breaks into here. There's 2 teams going on. The one that we know about, and our Supreme Leader. He is on his way as well. Yes, Captain America, he is going to confront Ultron 2 for the piece of the fragment of the Cosmic Cube that he needs as well. So the teams, you know, basically the dialogue goes back and forth, basically saying the same thing. This is not really Hank. This is a mission. You've got to be on your best behavior. We were in here to get one thing. Go in, get out. And of course, we see Ultron knows that they're all coming, and he's prepared for it. Then of course we see that all of the people show up to Ultron's fortress, and they are now scouring around looking for where this fragment could be. And of course, Ant-Man and the Black Ant confront each other, and they understand that, hey, there's another team here. So they start talking and fighting, and of course, Wanda and, you know, meets up with his brother, Quicksilver, and they start, you know, having a really not much of a dialogue, just a quick little fight. And of course, you know, Odin's son, Thor, he starts fighting with Hercules, and everybody's fighting, of course. You know, and Tony and Steve, they meet each other. You gotta love this panel here, you know, split face thing, you know, Tony, Steve, Tony, yeah. And of course, they start fighting as well. When all of a sudden, out of nowhere, boom! They all get knocked on their butts, you know. Turns out Ultron basically knocked them all out. And then when they wake up, they all, you know, hands are bound at a dinner table in a replica of the Avengers Mansion. And he starts, you know, talking. And you gotta love this panel right here with Ultron wearing an apron that says, Kiss the Overlord. It's pretty clever, pretty cool. So, you know, they start talking, and what can I say? You know, he's being a little reminiscent and also saying how the Avengers are always fighting each other, and the Avengers are like, well, we don't always see eye to eye, but what else are we gonna do? And of course, Ultron is, saying, hey, you know what? I realize I don't even need to fight you guys. You guys are just going to kill each other off. I don't need to lift a finger. Just wait until you're all done. And of course, both sides of the team started putting in their feelings and emotions, and there's a lot of dialogue. What can I say? Just a lot of dialogue. If you feel like reading something, here you go. This area has a lot to read for you. And of course, Tony, being the guy that he is, of course, it's like, well, you know what, Ultron, you've made your fair share of mistakes as well. You've done a lot of stuff, especially what you did after what you did to Jan. And of course, right, boom, there you go. That pissed Ultron off. How dare you? And he pretty much knocks them all down on their butts again. And he's like, I made one mistake, and I'm being held that over my head for years. I mean, come on, you guys have made plenty of mistakes, but this is the only one that you can ever think about. What about all the other good things that I've done? And he is not happy. And of course, Scott, he chimes in. He's like, hey, you know what? Really, you are my hero. You did make one mistake, but you know what? I made a mistake too. And for you to be able to move on and do the things that you needed to do, it taught me for me to be able to do the same thing, for me to move on. But that's not my only hero. My daughter is also my hero. Sometimes when I can't decide what needs to be done, I just ask myself, hey, what would she do? And maybe it's time for you to do the same. What would Janet do? And Ultron's like, yes. Okay. Well, now that's all done with. Would you like some dessert? He brings out a nice little plate holding the cosmic cube. And of course, what does he do? He gives it to Steve. To Scott. He gives it to Scott. He should have gave it to Steve. You know what? Oh, what was he thinking? He gave it to Scott. Why would, and of course, Tony's all happy about it, and everybody else is like, yeah, we got it. We got a piece over, from Captain America. He didn't get it. And so everybody goes split their separate ways. And it is what it is, I guess. And like I say, they're all happy. They're all in their little Quinjet celebrating. We got a fragment. We got a fragment. And let's break out some champagne when all of a sudden a news report comes on. Boom, 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 boom. Right? It's Namor. He shows up to Hydra Nation. Comes up to, Steve. And it's like, all right, you know what? For the interest of, peace, to keep my people happy and alive and well, you know what? We will be, kneeling to your authority. And he does kneel down and bears a gift. A fragment of the cosmic cube. And of course, everybody on the Quinjet's like, oh my gosh, the playing field is level again. We each have one. And what are we going to do? And they're like, oh, well, of course, we need to keep going on doing what we're going to be doing. We just got to keep looking for more pieces. And of course, Zemo's there talking with our supreme leader and basically saying, hey, you know what? How do they get a cube? What do we do? How should we proceed? And Steve is like, it doesn't matter. Let Tony's group gather up as many fragments as they can. It won't change the outcome of any of this after all. Because it goes this last page here. We have someone on the inside. Oh, yes. Who is it? Personally, I'm thinking it's Quicksilver, but we shall see. All right. I think he's on the inside to help save his sister. But we'll find out. All right. Well, that concludes Secret Empire issue number 4. Check out all of our other videos on YouTube. Check out everything else we have. Because, you know what? There's a lot of great things in there. And don't forget, everybody, remember, the most important, Hail Hydra. Cut off one head and 2 more shall take its place.